That's got it. Thank you very much.
This is an incredible day. Just looking around at everyone here and so excited. I could barely sleep last night thinking about how much work has gone into this incredible development from so many partners who are here to celebrate. It's such an exciting opportunity to celebrate the opening of much needed affordable housing for Calgarians. My name is Sarah Woodgate, and I'm the Director of Calgary Housing for the City of Calgary. I also have a unique role, so it makes it doubly exciting because I'm also President of Calgary Housing Company, who will be managing this property as well going forward. At Calgary Housing Company, home is what we do, and I'm so pleased you're joining us to celebrate the completion of our newest homes here in the community of Bridgeland. We're focusing on making life better every day, and this is just a tremendous opportunity to celebrate this success. We're joined today here by many partners. Developments like this don't happen without significant partnerships and contributions. His Worship Mayor Nenshi is here today and will say a few words. MLA of Calgary Northwest, Sandra Jensen, is also here today on behalf of the province of Alberta and will speak as well. Ward 9 Councillor Gian-Carlo is here today and will also speak, as well as community. There's so much community support here. You can really feel it here this morning. The residents of the Bridgeland community are so amazing, and the Community Association is here today for something unique, to celebrate with us and also share information about amenities and activities in this community to welcome new neighbors. We also have members of the Calgary Housing Company Board, and a new initiative at Calgary Housing Company. We have a tenant advisory group. If people are interested in finding out more about that, please come speak to me. We have members joining us today for the community activities from that new tenant advisory group who are focused on making Calgary Housing Company better. We also have representatives, my colleagues from the city here today. These are some of our representatives from the city, and I'd like to recognize the significant work, hard work of colleagues throughout the City of Calgary who have worked together collaboratively for quite a long time to make this development happen. And I'm so thankful to have some representatives here today, as well as recognize others who are working on other projects at the city. We work together with our housing partners. We work every day in the community building with other nonprofit housing providers towards increasing the supply, and we have other housing partners here today as well to celebrate. Each new development is a celebration for all of us, and I'm so thankful to have the support of our nonprofit housing partners here. We also wouldn't be here without the private sector building industry. Today we have our contractor, Delnor, who has led this beautiful building. I'd like to recognize them, as well as Nor Architects. I will pause. Today would not be possible, though, without our funders. This is so important for affordable housing. Funding to build this development is pivotal in terms of making it happen. The model for affordable housing we're using that you see today requires capital funding so that we can provide rents as low as possible, and a mixed market model for affordable housing without government subsidies going forward. Today we're celebrating the contribution from the provincial government of a $5.25 million affordable housing program block funding grant, as well as $2.25 million in funding through the Municipal Sustainability Initiative. Together, this funding is what makes the development happen. I'd like to thank the representatives from the province and city council for ensuring that affordable housing remains a priority in our city to make this happen. We're also pleased that through efficiencies in the process and design that we are able to come in under budget on this project as well. Woo! We work with our partners to build affordable homes in Calgary, and one of the most important things that makes these developments a success is the focus on community. It's not about just bricks and mortar. This is about building strong neighborhoods. I'd like to thank the community of Bridgeland for providing your valuable input through the project and for coming together to welcome the new residents who will be living here. Affordable housing is so important for our community, and it supports a diversity of people of all ages, family compositions, and demographics. This building here will support a diversity of housing through various building units, sizes, and forms to live together in this wonderful community. Affordable housing isn't just about providing a roof over their head. It's also about providing opportunity to find and keep jobs, to learn and build skills, and to be active participants in community once people have a home. Calgary's affordable housing strategy, Foundations for Home, it's identified that there's a need for 15,000 homes in order to meet the national average supply for large cities of non-market housing of 6%. Every unit we develop is important. So we're so excited that this is the second opening of new affordable homes for the City of Calgary that we've celebrated this year, the first after 5 years of not having new city-led homes available. And we have more to go, including a 32 new home development in Kingsland that will open up later this year. We broke ground on a 48 home development in the community of Wildwood last month, and we're also working towards 16 future homes in the community of Rosedale. In May, we celebrated the opening of 16 homes in Crescent Heights. And it's not just about new homes, it's also about regeneration. Calgary Housing Company also completed a regeneration project of 26 homes in the community of Bankview, and we celebrated that earlier. It was a transition of older rental housing to new mixed market that will also support people moving from the wait list without ongoing operating subsidies. And on July 26th, just around the corner, we're going to celebrate another regeneration of a provincial building that's social housing that needed much work, exterior repair, and that'll be in the community of Mission that we're celebrating that. The City of Calgary is also supporting our many nonprofit housing providers to grow. We talked about the 15,000 units that we need and trying to maintain the units that we have. And we're supporting a pipeline of shovel-ready new developments in Calgary and focused on supporting the scaling up of nonprofits in a number of ways, including the provision of city-owned land. This month, the city also announced plans to sell 7 city-owned sites of nonprofit organizations, 2 nonprofit organizations with strong track records as affordable housing providers in Calgary to help them grow. It's the most significant sale of city-owned land to affordable housing providers in the city's history. So you can see there's a lot of efforts underway to provide affordable housing to more Calgarians, and I'd like to join you today to celebrate this milestone. Right now, I'd like to ask Mayor Nenshi to come up and say a few remarks.
Well, thanks very much, Sarah. I am thrilled to be here to celebrate community again with you. And of course, we stand here on the banks of the Bow River in a place where people have been building community for thousands of years, in a place that the Blackfoot call Mokinstis, the place where 2 rivers meet. And today we continue to build community in one of the best neighborhoods in Calgary, in Bridgeland, with this tremendous project. As Sarah mentioned, we have been having a flurry of activity, opening new and refurbished affordable housing projects across the city. The reason for the flurry of activity, of course, is that we've gone through many years of not having any new affordable housing being built. And it's incredibly important for us to continue to make sure that we are building communities that work for everyone. And a big part of that is building affordable housing. So I'm thrilled to be joined here by so many neighbors, so many members of the Great Bridgeland community, by some of our civic partners, by MLA Sandra Jansen, by my colleagues at the city who've worked so hard to get this project underway, and by my colleague, Councillor Gian-Carlo, who you'll hear from in just a moment, to celebrate the completion of this second new affordable housing development to open this summer. Building affordable housing means building stronger communities. It means meeting our growing city's need for housing, for a decent place to live for all of our citizens. This kind of housing supports citizens of all ages, all family types, all demographics, individuals who otherwise would not have that stability, that safety of having a decent place to go home to every day. This particular project is very cool. It's 24 residences, stacked townhouses. There's 4 studios, 8 1-bedrooms, 4 2-bedrooms, and 8 3-bedroom family homes in here. 3 of them are barrier-free, and 1 is specifically built to accommodate visually impaired people. most important though, look at it. It is gorgeous, isn't it? It is an incredibly beautiful building that fits into this neighborhood so well. And that's what I really love about it, to actually say that everyone deserves a decent and dignified place in which to live, and that's certainly what we have here. I'm sure Councillor Corral will talk about this, but what you're standing on is actually a very unique design feature of it. I'm going to let Gian-Carlo talk about it. He'll go on for about 25 minutes about how interesting it is and how it was all his idea to steal it from the Netherlands and blah, blah, blah. So just prepare yourselves for it. He'll explain. The most important part about affordable housing is that it gives people that base of stability and that base of dignity in their lives, from which they then have the opportunity to get a great job, to keep that job, to go to school, to build skills, and to be active participants in wonderful neighborhoods like Bridgeland. Citizens have told us over and over and over again that affordable housing is a priority for people across the city. In our last citizen satisfaction survey, 65% of Calgarians said we need to invest more in affordable housing for low-income families. And your city council has responded. We're committed to working with the federal and the provincial governments to make affordable housing available to even more individuals and low-income people. But even with all the projects that Sarah told us about, the need is very real. There are many, many, many neighbors in our community who are going without basic necessities of life, who are not able to invest in themselves and their families because too much of their income is spent on housing. So I am absolutely thrilled that after many years of not building any units, many years of retreat by the other orders of government from this area, that we now have a provincial and a federal government who have renewed commitment to the housing community. The federal government has announced an absolutely historical investment in affordable housing across this country. It's the very first time since I've been mayor that the federal government actually did exactly what the mayors wanted. Nearly $12 billion going into affordable housing. And the government of Alberta is in the midst of creating a new affordable housing strategy of its own, which also comes with very significant funding. And we are committed to getting that funding working right away. We are not going to waste time or waste money in making that happen. So in addition to building units ourselves that will be owned and operated by the Calgary Housing Company, as you heard from Sarah, we're working with nonprofit partners across the city, and we are about to sell 7 pieces of land across the city in what Sarah rightly describes as the largest ever transfer of land from the city to nonprofit providers specifically for affordable housing. We're taking real action on a very real problem, and we continue to do it every single day. So with that, I just want to say to the families that are going to call this building home, welcome home. We're proud to be your landlords, we're proud to have you here, and we hope that this will be a wonderful home for all of you and for your families. Welcome.
Thank you, Mayor Nenshi. We're so grateful to have your support and leadership and vision for affordable housing, and also from that of City Council. Without City Council support for the Foundations for Home strategy last July, we wouldn't have had so much progress in terms of the city contributions over this last year of how we're moving forward. I'd now like to welcome Sandra Jensen, MLA for Calgary Northwest, to share a few remarks on behalf of the province, who's also been very busy working on affordable housing in addition to this development.
Thank you so much, Sarah. I want to thank, of course, the Mayor, Gian-Carlo, Sarah and Teresa, and all the fantastic folks. This isn't the first time we've gotten together to make an announcement like this. And when I look at such a great facility, and I think to myself, it came in 15% under budget. Why would you not want to have partners like this? They are phenomenal. It is such a wonderful honor to be here with you on Treaty 7 land and bring greetings on behalf of Premier Rachel Notley and all of my government colleagues. And so pleased to be joined by the families who are going to be making this wonderful facility a home. It really, you know, I think we all took a look at it and it felt like home right away. And that is really magical and wonderful. Every Albertan deserves a safe place to call home. And the Bridgeland Affordable Housing Development is going to provide just that. safe, affordable homes for 24 Calgary families. So congratulations to those families, and I'm sure for many of them this is a dream come true. Our government, as Mayor Nenshi mentioned, is committed to making life better for Albertans, and so we are investing $1.2 billion over 5 years to build affordable housing and seniors lodges. This is 4 times more funding than the previous government invested in its capital plan. There are more than 40 affordable housing and seniors lodging projects across the province because we know there is a tremendous demand. That's why we also recently announced the province's first affordable housing strategy. And that strategy was developed with input from more than 1,800 Albertans, many of them you folks who are here in the audience. That strategy is focused on tenants and gives them the tools they need for success. We are increasing the asset limit to $25,000 from $7,000, and that means we're giving people the opportunity to stay in affordable housing while they save for a post-secondary education or a down payment on a house of their own, planning for the future. We are also going to explore mixed income models so that when people earn more money, they won't be forced to leave their homes. They can choose to pay an adjusted rent and stay in their community. As graduates of Housing First, a program that helps Albertans facing homelessness, they're going to have more opportunities to get into affordable housing. And we're going to continue to work with local municipalities. It is a joy to work with the City of Calgary and all those folks who really have such an enthusiasm for projects like this. And I am so proud to be able to do that. Congratulations to them on this beautiful facility, and to know that it's going to provide a beautiful home for so many families. Today is a celebration. It is a wonderful celebration of creativity, of different levels of government working together, and I couldn't be more happy to be here and celebrate it with you. Thank you.
Thank you, MLA Jensen, on behalf of the province. We're looking very much forward to continue working together on more projects like this in the future and implementing the provincial housing strategy to make life better. I'd also now like to introduce Councillor Gian-Carlo, who has played an instrumental role in working with this community and also specifically this project to make it such a success. Councillor Carra has significant design visions, and today we are able to celebrate that, and I look forward to utilizing it and welcoming new Calgarians to Bridgeland to enjoy the outcome of his vision. So thank you.
Well, first off, I want to say thank you to the previous speakers who I think touched a lot of the important things to talk about. So I'm going to offer some color commentary. I'm super, super happy to be standing behind this beautiful building. My 20-year mission in life, since I sort of discovered what my mission in life is, and recently as a politician, is the idea around building great neighborhoods, and that great neighborhoods make a great city, and neighborhoods are amazing sort of places where people and place come together. And I want to talk a little bit about this place because I think it's important, and I think in the spirit of reconciliation, I think it's amazing that we recognize that we're on Treaty 7 land. When the Truth and Reconciliation Commission came out with their report, my office hired Harry the historian to sort of look at what the legacy of First Nations people in our ward was all about. And one of the amazing jewels about this place right here, nestled against this escarpment, south-facing sunshine, sheltered from north winds, is this was an encampment spot that was frequented on a regular basis by the man who came to be known as the Deerfoot, and then we named the Deerfoot Trail after. And so I think that there is a deep history in this place that makes this little nook in the shelter of this escarpment a beautiful place. Just around the corner from here is an amazing city park called the Vacant Lot Garden Park, and it celebrates the historic practice of taking vacant city lots and gardening them for food. And that's what my grandparents did on the other side of the river to feed my mother and her 4 siblings and raise them to a productive adulthood. And the fact that we recognize that practice and the fact that local food production is coming back into this city and this neighborhood is really important. And then I want to talk about the future, which I think this building absolutely represents. You know, we have to build up as a city, not sprawl outwards. And we have to build great neighborhoods that are not just enclaves of the wealthy or any particular class, but are places where people of all ages, stages, and wages can come together and build community. And that's the spirit, I think, of what we signed with Treaty 7 and that we are rediscovering and recommitting to in this day and age. So I think that's amazing. The fact that every single unit faces outward with a nice semi-private space that welcomes neighbors and yet creates a nice distance from the public realm. This is a beautiful piece of urbanism, not just an affordable housing project, which, you know, in the past were institutional, standalone things that did not interrelate with the neighborhood. So I want to say thank you so much to the project team. I want to say thank you to Teresa and Sarah, and to my colleagues on council and to the province, everyone who made this amazing thing happen. But I think the biggest thanks I want to give is to the leadership in this community. This is part of a tranche of affordable housing that you heard about. It hasn't gone as smoothly in other neighborhoods. There have been, you know, a lot of angry people about how projects like this will wreck their neighborhood. And what we had in this neighborhood instead was an open arms welcoming of this opportunity, albeit caveated with some interesting history. And there was a willingness to roll up our sleeves and work together and solve this. So this piece of land here, which was city owned, was earmarked when they took down the general hospital. They also took out a lot of community facilities. And there was a promise that those community facilities would be returned. There was an outdoor rink that sort of never came back. There was a swimming pool that never came back. And a lot of the people who were part of the negotiation to build the bridges and to accept that massive change in the community of Bridgeland-Riverside acknowledged that there would be change, and that change would bring some disruption, but it would also bring good things. And some of those good things didn't and have yet to come to pass. And this land was sort of earmarked in the minds of the community who sort of were engaged in that negotiation as a place where a hockey rink or an outdoor rink or community recreation facilities would come to pass. And instead of saying no, they said, well, how do we make this work? And what this building represents is only a partial take of the land. Around the corner, you see a sodded out area, and that area is a placeholder for a park that will continue the park system from the vacant lot garden and this escarpment. And it was poised to become a parking lot. And I think one of the coolest things that this building does is it takes your ubiquitous parking lot that would have been a paved place in the back, and it puts the parking on the street, slowing down traffic and calming McDougall Road, and then allows us to hold that land for future community use. What we're standing on right now is, Mayor Nenshi foreshadowed that I would be insufferable about this, but it's a VUNERF. It's a living street that accepts cars, but is really primarily a pedestrian place. And it acts as an important link between the river and the stairs up the escarpment to the parkland and the neighborhoods beyond. And the willingness of the team to sort of create that. And then what's behind you is a remnant parcel of city-owned land. I think that the community is really excited about combining with the older houses behind you into a larger market rate housing. And the deal we have penciled out is that the land sales from that will help fund what happens in the park behind us. And so we're calming traffic, we are connecting community, we are creating important public spaces, and we are enhancing parkland, all the while that we're creating this beautiful, gentle density. So I think it's really important. Someone who I think I want to give a special thanks to Mac Logan, the General Manager of Transportation, because angle parking a street, putting in a VUNERF in, allowing the garbage truck to go in frontwards and then back out, which is what they do anyway, but not allowing a giant concrete turnaround back there for the hypothetical three-point turn that the garbage truck will never do anyway. all of these things allow this project to really set the stage for amazing urbanism to grow and to network it deeply into the community. I'm looking over there at Allie McMillan, who is, you know, a tireless warrior for this community. Before I became a city councilor, I spent an increasing amount of time as a volunteer advocate for my communities, for East Calgary communities, and I longed to have a city councilor. I think I model myself on the city councilor I wanted to be to that community advocate, and when I became the city councilor, I longed to have a partner in community like Allie, who was just so engaged and so on top of things and so, you know, unstinting in her giving and her thoughtfulness and her leadership in this community. So thank you to everybody. I think that great neighborhoods make a great city, and the act of any building should be a neighborhood enhancing project, and that's exactly what this is, and I'm super, super proud and pleased. And to all the people who are going to call this beautiful building, and when I say beautiful building, I mean the nicest building on the street, home, welcome to the neighborhood. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Craw, for your remarks and also your tremendous vision to make this incredible development happen. Now it's time to celebrate. So we have a gathering and many people from Bridgeland invited to participate. We have food, we're gonna have food, and there's activities for the kids. We also have tours of the building. I know a lot of people have been watching this under construction, and today's an opportunity to have a chance to actually check it out. So we have units available to come look at, and we have people providing information about leasing opportunities of this building, and wait lists, and some CHC people here who can help you if you have questions as well. So now it's time to celebrate, and just thank you very much for coming out to enjoy this moment.